welcome to the second video from Hit Chicks on Writing. This one is You're So Brave. And we're going to talk to Sandra about her brave self-revelation. So Sandra, tell us about the paradox that you experience in the revelation that comes with memoir writing.
So this is my life. If just on any regular day, if I leave my house and go out in public, someone is going to be really impressed with me, and they're going to tell me that. And you'd think I should just accept that and revel in the accolades or just be gracious in some way. But here's the deal. All my life, I've been visibly disabled. You know, I used little tiny crutches and then wheelchairs later of all different hues and stripes. And so the type of thing that I get praised for, these moments that have elicited, are things like, well, just the other day I was at Publix and I was reaching up really high to use my fingertips to roll a big package of toilet paper off and into my basket I had on my lap. And a woman goes by, a fellow shopper, in a little cart rattles by, and she tells me that I am really something. And I think, yeah, you know, like I wipe my rear end, just, you know, like that's what I do. Yes, I do. I do it successfully. I use this toilet paper, you know, but I don't say that. I just smile. Or there's my daily daring feat of waiting at a intersection for the light to change. I am pretty often told how very brave I am for crossing the street on my own. It seems that that's a huge deal. Or my personal favorite, is when old friends and I are out and we're just cracking up about some thing that happened 20 years ago that still makes us pee in our pants, and, you know, we're choking and chortling, and his hand gets clapped on my shoulder and a face moves too close. And this perfect stranger tells me that how great it is to see someone like me out in the world enjoying myself. Anyway, so in reaction, over the years, both in my life and in my writing, my first writings, I developed I call my Star Wars defense. It's like, these are not the droids you're looking for, move along, move along. You know, I just, what I do is I sort of grunt and give a little smile and turn away, hoping that that will end the conversation and I can avoid the interaction. So sometimes I'm with a friend or with my beloved Pam, and I am terrible. I just abandoned her. You know, I just use my duck and cover defense, which, you know, if you're in a 400-pound wheelchair and it doesn't have very good turning radius and you're trying to put people between you and the incoming person, you can always tell them because they have this focus and their eyes get weird and sort of twirl in their sockets, and it feels like this slime is about to settle over me. So I do my not-so-subtle duck and cover defense. And often, if Pam's there, they like divert their attention to her, and she just thinks someone really friendly is coming up to talk to her. And afterwards, when the actual conversation happens and she finds me later, she begs me to never leave her alone with those people again. And I don't promise anything. I mean, we all have to develop our own early detection system from oncoming inappropriate praise bullets. So I have this lifetime of don't look at me, I'm regular, I'm typical, nothing to see here person, move along, move along.
And so how does that work with being a memoir writer? Because memoir, some people would say, is all about self-revelation, and you're putting yourself on display. Instead of saying, don't look, you're saying, look, it's all about me.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be interesting, you know, and then we talked about in our previous video about, for both of us, there's a reticence to being from being hospitalized a lot, where each of us had our own reasons of allowing access. You know, we had all of that time of not having control, even less control than most kids do, about access to our bodies and what was happening to us. So you have to throw that into the mix, you know, this need for control.
Yeah. So what are the decisions that you've made, or what decisions has your brain made for you, maybe, is a...
Well, one is, I don't think I could have written Memoir earlier, because I had to get in a place where, you know, as you get older, you are not as reactive to other people's impressions. It's also called giving fewer fucks.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I had to reach that stage more and more. And the other thing is that I had to, you know, when I separate myself from all of this, I realize that sometimes I am brave and sometimes I am inspiring, and I can write about some of those things, but in my own way, which is a very sort of matter-of-fact and unsentimental way.
Mm. And in that situation, you're in control of what gets revealed.
You know, you said that to me earlier, and it was like, oh, of course.
Yeah, yeah,
Writing memoir is the ultimate control of my story.
yeah, yeah. We get to say, or you get to say, how the story is told and what gets told. It is. It's a taking control.
And you don't get anything that I don't give you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm the arbiter of it all,
Yeah.
which I had not realized before we were talking about filming this ahead of time. You know, it's just, oh yeah, it works for me. It's not giving up control, it's taking it into my own writing.
Mm-hmm. So I know both of us, in feedback that we've gotten from editors, or critiques we've gotten from editors, we've been told that we don't go deep enough into the emotions, or we don't. I had an editor, and a piece that was accepted recently, tell me that she just wanted to know a little bit about where I was, because there was so little of me in the essay, which is about my experience, but I'm more interested often in other people in my life than I am in me. So what do you think about that? How do you deal with those kinds of comments from editors when they ask you, can you give us a little bit more about what you're actually feeling? Can you reveal more?
Well, when I first started writing, that was a critique I got more than once. And if you hear it more than once, man,
You know what's right.
well, I don't know, I can't ever, but they're onto something.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had an instructor once that said, just write the next sentence, Sandra, just write the next sentence in sort of a, you know, frustrated way. So I started doing that. I just write the next sentence, you know, I come to my personally comfortable stopping place. I mean, my mother was English. She had a certain idea of what was seemly to reveal emotionally, and I'd reached that point, and I'd stop and then I'd think, okay, write the next sentence. And sometimes it was perfect. That's all it needed. And other times that next sentence opened up like a whole other paragraph or scene or another essay completely. That's a technique that I used quite a bit with it. And I also think that I think disabled people write all sorts of things in all different ways, but that that we all very seldom leave the body out of our writing. And because of that, and because I write the body into all of my writing, and I write in a very matter of fact and unsentimental way, that paradoxically has a lot of deep emotion in it. You know, just that laying out of something in that linear way and a specific way evokes emotion in the reader. I hope. That's what I'm telling myself anyway.
So I know from reading your work that you also pay a great deal of attention to setting, and that evokes emotion in readers too. And I know from conversations that we've had before, you've mentioned that you don't feel that comfortable writing about other people. You want to write about yourself without invading anybody else's privacy. So can you talk a little bit about that too?
Well, you know, when I look at your writing, which is quite often about your family and your experiences, and you just go right in, and But you have this, open-heartedness that you do it with that seems to make it all right. And I worry about my own resentments, or I don't know. I worry about writing about other people. I feel like I don't have that permission as much. So I do it sideways in a lot, because if you write memoir, there are other people that exist, and sometimes I do it directly, but it's more. You see their shadows and shapes and their emotional influences that come in from the sideways for me, and I write in that manner, which has its own effectiveness, but it's really different from what you do, and what you do so effectively.
Thank you.
About the other styles, there are plenty of people that write about that. All the memoir books tell you. Not all, but the typical prompt or writing prompt, go to your deepest truth, find that one thing you would never tell anyone, and write that for your readers. And I'm sorry, I have this, like, screw you, no way, you're not getting anything that I don't want to give you. You are not allowed, you are not permitted. But there are writers that do that, and they write memoirs that are beautiful, and they are brave, and they are inspiring, and they're full of these deep truths. But I think that there are also other ways of writing. I mean, maybe this is my English-bred reticence about being defensive about writing personal stuff, but I don't think so. I think there's this other way of writing as well that is more spare and restrained, and paradoxically within that restraint also can offer sometimes those deep truths as well. And so I hope that there's a readership and an appreciation for all of the different styles that we use in our memoir writing.
Oh my God, Sandra, you're so amazing. Look at you washing the dishes.